Hi, Pam DuBois with Dream Real Estate. Today I'm here with special guest David Baca, Vice President of Mortgage Lending.
With a guaranteed rate affinity, right?
Right, guaranteed rate affinity. David has over 30 years experience in the mortgage business. He's top producer and he's going to share with us today all about lending and what's going on with the mortgage business.
Thanks,
David,
Pam.
first tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
I've been in the mortgage business for something over 30 years and started out in banking and commercial banking and have been working with our clients and trying to help people realize their dream of home ownership for the past 30 years.
Okay. And how do you actually work with prospective clients? Tell me a little bit about how David actually works with his clients.
So my role is to find out what's important to my client and talk about their needs, which are typically what they want their payment to be, what they want for cash to close, and then we look at the loan programs that we have and we figure out what meets their needs.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the first part of what we do.
Okay, that's important. What do you see going on with the market right now as far as, I know the interest rates are really low right now. What's going on with that?
So terrific time to buy. Rates are very, very favorable and as good as they've been for 30 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and the programs are very favorable. So we have many programs that allow people to purchase without a down payment.
Okay. Tell us about that.
A lot of people think that, especially after the mortgage crisis over the past 10 years, that you need a lot of money to buy. You need 20% down, and that's just not true.
Okay.
There are many, many programs that allow people to get into houses with reduced down payment, minimal down payment, maybe even no down payment.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I think you also have 101% financing?
We do. We actually can help, because cash to close is always the tough part for our customers. A lot of people can make their payments, but getting enough cash to close is difficult. So we have programs that are designed to meet that need.
Okay.
And
that's
truly,
great.
we could put together a loan where you didn't have to come up with a down payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your specialties? We were talking earlier, you did you do some construction loans. Tell us about that.
Sure. In addition to all the basic programs that are in the market, in the mortgage marketplace, we have, again, the 100% programs.
Yeah.
We have very favorable programs for first-time home buyers.
Okay.
And we also do a lot with renovation and construction lending.
Okay. That's
two very unique products that, with the housing stock that we have, with existing houses that people want to make them more personal and make them more up to date. A renovation loan is a terrific opportunity to find a house that's in a location that you like, the style of the house you like. Just has to be updated a little bit. Okay. And that's a perfect program for that.
Okay, that's great. So let's talk a little bit about a buyer that's out there in the market and they're thinking about buying. What would you advise them as far as their first steps?
Sure, that's a terrific question. Really, the first thing that a buyer wants to do is to find out their pre-qualification.
Right. Yeah.
In other words, how much of a mortgage do I qualify for? Therefore, how much of a sales price do I qualify for?
Right.
And then in that, they'll learn this is what my payment is going to be.
Yeah.
And they can assess if that fits in their budget and with what they want to pay.
Yeah.
And they can find out all of this in advance, right, of buying a house, of finding the perfect house.
Yeah.
They can figure out what the cash
that they need.
Yeah. So that if they have to save more or if they have to ask a relative for a gift, if they have to do something to plan for buying a house.
Yeah, what kind of goals to set moving forward. Right.
So talking to a mortgage lender sooner than later is going to make you far more prepared. And I think sometimes consumers don't think that they have to do that because I think the mortgage piece is very accessible. You can learn a lot online.
Online, right.
But it's kind of general, and the specifics of how you fit into those general guidelines only comes from talking with a mortgage professional.
Right, right. Because you see a lot of people, I mean, it's so easy to go online now and just kind of punch in your numbers and see, okay, this is what I think I qualify for. But let's talk a little bit about credit. What do you think about, as far as that part of it? Are you guys?
So credit has become even more of a factor than it used to be. It's always been an issue. But the nature or the way it's assessed has changed.
Okay.
10, 20, 30 years ago, you were considered to have better credit if you had less credit.
Right.
In today's world, you're considered to have better credit
If you have a lot of credit.
if you're using it effectively.
Okay.
And
okay.
so,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so not having a credit card is more of a problem than having one.
Right.
Right? So you should likely have a car loan.
Yeah.
And be repaying your car loan because it shows that you're responsible.
Right. Make those payments on time.
Right?
Yeah.
And you should have a credit card and show that you can pay it on time. And that's what builds up your credit score.
Right, right. And I understand too, like one of the things, the issues with credit, as far as credit cards are concerned, like if you go close to the high balance on the credit card, that lowers your credit score, right?
Yeah, that is the most important factor. For somebody who might otherwise pay their bills on time, the proportion of balance to limit is critical.
Okay.
It's critical that it remain below 50%.
Okay.
So we advise consumers to try not to go above 30% of their limit.
Right.
Because if they go a little bit above 30% of their limit, then there's still some room.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But your score starts to get affected when you go above 50% of the limit.
Okay. Okay.
So you could have a great payment history and lose 50 points in your score.
Okay.
Because your balances are above 50% of the limit.
Right. Right. Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about like as far as goals to set for a first-time home buyer. Like if you're thinking about buying a car maybe and buying a car and buying a house at the same time, what are your rules and guidelines on that? Or your thoughts on that, I should say?
Sure. So you want to make sure that the monthly payment that you're looking at on a car, because a lot of times you're going to get a car loan before you buy a house.
Right.
So you want to think about what your payment will look like for this car loan and how it will relate to a mortgage payment.
Okay.
And even though you might be able to afford more today on a car loan, you should be more conservative and think about how to lower the car loan so that your cash flow is better when you have a house, and so that your debt to income ratio is better.
Okay.
And once we look at credit, the next big factor in trying to determine if somebody qualifies is their debt to income ratio.
Ratios, right.
Right?
Okay.
So generally that shouldn't exceed 43% of your gross income. There are loan programs that allow that to go to 45%.
Oh, okay.
Or 50%.
Really?
But
that's high.
It's high, but it's available.
Okay.
That's what's in the market today.
Okay.
So you would want to plan in advance and say, I'd like to keep my car payment at $300 even though I can afford $500 today, right?
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they had gotten really strict with the mortgages for a while, and now what's happening, I guess they're getting less strict with the mortgages, I guess, in the guidelines.
Yeah, I think that there's the feeling in the guideline portion that the process is so detailed and there's so much documentation about the borrower that they feel like they've ferreted out all issues.
Yeah.
And so very strict about the paperwork and proving that you qualify. So I think that allows for a certain amount of flexibility in the debt to income ratio.
Okay, so that's good. They've gotten a little bit more lenient on that.
I think so.
Any other special products, services you want to mention?
So for us, it's the focus is really on the first-time home buyer and the renovation piece.
Okay.
And they often go together.
Okay.
Right?
All right, that's good,
Because the first-time buyer is often in a price range where the housing stock is a little bit older.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, very true.
Right?
Yeah.
So we would rather help them do a renovation loan so that they can include the cost of the improvements in the loan.
Okay.
And then they aren't trying to come up with the cash along the
Yeah.
way to fix things.
Okay. That's a great product. Not many lenders offer that. That's a great product.
It is.
For a first-time home buyer.
Yeah, it's not readily available from all lenders.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that as a consumer you want to make sure that the person that you're talking to is a specialist,
Okay.
that they work on that kind of program every
Right.
day, because there are a few more moving parts to it. There are
Yeah.
a few more details to it, and you want to make sure that that the person, the loan officer, is
Yeah.
going to get it right
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, because that basically is not a first-time home buyer product. That's more of, an investor, maybe somebody that's, looking to invest in properties.
It can be done for an investor,
Yeah.
and it truly does turn out to be a benefit to a first-time home buyer,
Okay.
because, like I said earlier, the price range that they tend to be in
Yeah.
is the older housing stock.
Right,
So-
right, because they can't, afford
Yeah.
the newer ones. So guaranteed rate affinity. Tell us a little bit about your company. I'm going backwards a little bit here on you.
No problem.
About the company and how it got started. I think we were talking about that earlier. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So Guaranteed Rate is one of the largest non-bank mortgage companies in the country.
Okay.
And we offer all the basic programs that the mortgage market has to offer, and several specialty products. The company's been in business since the early 90s,
Okay.
and has grown to its current size, helping one family at a time,
Wow.
and lots of families over a very long time.
That's great. That's great. I hadn't
Right.
heard anything. Any other special things that you want to talk to a first-time home buyer?
I guess the idea is to understand that our focus is on the family and helping families get into the houses that they want to get into. My role is really to facilitate that process, make sure that we're communicating with all the parties that are involved, and helping you get to that closing on the day and time that's important to you.
Okay, you want to share your information with the consumer out there, David?
Again, I'm David Baca. I can be reached at david.baca@grarate.com.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Pam DuBois with Dream Real Estate. Please stay tuned to us next Saturday between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, Fox 5 Plus. Thank you so much again. Have a great day.